Okay, now we are going to talk about system, program, and functions. To have an idea about what I'm talking about, let's pause here the presentation a bit and let's take a look in a short video to explain what is system, processes, and the functions.
Very fun videos, by the way. We had fun recording them, so enjoy them.
Hey, in our next step we will talk about systems. And to make an analogy about the computer systems, we will use the microwave. The microwave is a system that cooks the food. It has two main processes. First one, the cooking process, right? When the microwave will heat the food. And the second process is the control of the power and the time that we will cook the food. So we will use it, and as an example, I will show you how to do popcorn.
I'm getting hungry.
There we are! So first I will prepare the electronic process. So I will leave the popcorn here. I will close the microwave. And oh look, it has a function called popcorn. So popcorn and start. Now let's wait. And it's done. So now, let's see. Oh, cool. We have food, Thomas.
Yay! Finally!
So as we could see, the popcorn is popped, and also the microwave ended the time, right? Maybe you saw that I added some time because in the middle of the process, I felt that the popcorn would not finish well, so I added an extra minute here. So take it in your mind: a system, processes, and a function. We will talk about it later.
Let's start the party! Yoo-hoo!
System, process, and functions. Let's translate it to the computer language, right? So in the computer, most of the software that we use, they are whole systems. They are a set of programs, and each program performs a very specific piece of the whole task. An example of program is send a WhatsApp message. Probably you have a program running in your phone that does that piece of the system WhatsApp. The same, paying a bill. When you access your bank website, pay the bill is a piece of the tasks that the whole bill payment, how the whole bill payment works. View grades and attendance, and I hope that you have good grades. Is that I have a process here to do, right? Someone came here, ate and drank, and I left all this input left in here. And the input for this process is the dirty dishes. So let me try to clean this mess. So first step, I will rinse the plate. Second step, I will soap it. And the last step, I rinse it again. Last step here in the sink. And to finish my process, I will dry it. It seems a lot of work to do it alone, you know, and I'm a bit lazy today. So, Thomas?
Yes, Mauricio, I'm here.
Can you come and help me, please?
Oh, geez, absolutely. I would love to help you. Even though I have no clue what we're going to be doing here today, but absolutely.
So trust me.
Yeah.
I am the process manager. I am the program. I am the one who will give you the inputs, and the only thing that you need to do is soaping the dishes. Are you fine?
I'm not sure if I know how to do that, but let's give it a try.
Okay, let's do it. So, first step, I will rinsing. Then I will give it to you.
Okay.
Please soap it.
This is the first time in my life that I'm doing this. Okay, so adding some
I
soap.
bet. That's why your wife complains a lot.
That's right. And now my wife would be very proud of me right now. Okay, so then the sponge, adding some soap. Okay, well, I have no clue what you're going to do with this now, but...
Give it back. This is the
output,
right? This is your output.
That's my output, yep.
So now, I rinse it again. And it's ready to dry.
Wow, you seem like you know what you're doing, Mauricio.
I must know, right?
Correct.
So then, just for example, let's do a second one. With a different input from our processes.
Good.
From my process and your function.
So, totally new item. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same steps. Adding some soap.
Exactly.
And cleaning it with a sponge. Okay. And again, first time in my life doing this. There you go.
Thank you very much. I like your return. And we dry it. So this is an example about how we can use functions. And we will explore it better and more in our presentation and in your script soon. Stay tuned.
By the way, I think we should open a restaurant because we are so good at this, right? I feel like I've definitely heard a calling to clean dishes.
I'm bad in cooking, man.
Good.
All right, awesome. And this brings us to functions. So inside a program, inside that we can have multiple functions. They can be linked or they can be somehow, to an extent, independent. But what's really important here is that the function is really a part of a specific process, okay? And it has inputs, what we call inputs, which is data elements that go into the function, and we also have function outputs, which are results of the function code. For example, popcorn, right, is a result, is an output of multiple functions, right? Now, what is also really important is that we do have functions that are already predefined, and they exist in your R environment. We can also call predefined R functions from libraries that we install from the CRAN. So there are predefined libraries that do tasks that have been known to people for a long time, right? But we can also design our own functions for something extremely customizable, for something very unique, for our unique process. And we call those user-defined functions. Now, just to let you know, R is case sensitive, which means that if you use a function, it'll have to be spelled exactly the same way as it was created. So if, by any chance, the first letter of the function is uppercase, you will have to call the function with a uppercase letter. Now, I've mentioned something called a function call. So one thing is to have a function or design one if you are creating a user-defined function. Another thing is to call the function. Calling a function means that I will use a function. I'm going to use it. I'm going to input some data and receive some outputs. Okay? We call it calling a function. Right, Mauricio?
Yeah.
All right, great. And I can call a few functions, such as in the upper right-hand corner on your screen, the help function, the print, the read line, type of, ask.logical, or paste. Remember, every single function call must have parentheses after the function name. So if I wanted to ask for help, I would just type in help, parentheses. Usually functions work with empty parentheses, but frequently they will need, sometimes require, a input, and those inputs go inside those parentheses. So I could say help, open parentheses. I could say anything, right? I could say give me help with the paste function, right? So I could say help, open parentheses, paste, and then close parentheses. Now, if you want to practice what we just told you about, you can do these 4 tasks in the lower right-hand corner in the white window. So you can practice these functions by trying to call the help function in the console, or calling the print function in the console, or try using the print function in a script, in a R script. And the 4th one is trying to call 2 functions, read line and print, in a script.
And Thomas, why won't we show them the syntax right now?
Okay, well, let's do it. Okay, yeah.
No, I won't.
You won't? No.
I want them to Google it, to go to RStudio and use the help function to discover how the print and the read line works.
Good.
And once you get that, you write your code. And of course, we will give you some guidance, but we really want to see how far you go by yourself.
That's a good approach. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I copied from you.
You called my function.
Great, guys. See you soon. So, okay. Now you probably discovered how to call the functions. So to help you figure it out if you did it right, we will come here with some examples and show you how it will impact your daily practice of coding. So the help function. First, if I just type help and try to call it without the parentheses, let's look at the console. Oh, nothing happened. So,
it's the source code of the function. So.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it showed the source code. So what does this function? How this function was written? Nice. So if I type help using the uppercase in the H, even though I did using the parentheses that I missed in the first call, I got an error. Remember, R is case sensitive. If I type help with the parentheses, with the right usage, what did it change in my screen? Actually, this window here at the bottom, I can see that RStudio brought me the help about the function help. So this is why this function is helpful. If I type help and I type here print, so here I will have the access to how the print function works, and not only the syntax and the explanation, but I also have some examples here. So go there and explore it.
We use it all the time. Like this is probably the most frequently used function in R because you always ask for help, right? It's like, I don't know this function. Well, ask for help, right?
Yeah, and when we mean ask for help is type in your RStudio, right? Don't call me.
Use the call the help function.
Call the help function.
Call the help function. Yep.
So to move on with our example, we will figure it out by testing how the print function works. But we want to bring here how the readline function works, because it has a small difference in the fact that readline have a return right? So what we are doing with the read line, we can ask our user to type something. The read line function will receive this input, and I will assign the value to a variable. So running only this line here, you can see here in the console the message that I passed as input to read line. And if I type something here and I press enter, this value was assigned to the variable age. Look here at the environment. I have the value and the new variable here. When I use the print function alone to print the variable age, print goes to the environment, check the value of age, and that prints its values here. Did you know that? Of course you knew, man. Like, I'm just teasing you.
But I'm listening. I'm paying attention.
I can see.
I'm paying attention.
So now I want to show you a very important detail. If I will paste the code because I'm lazy. I had it before.
That's a lot of code.
So if I have here 3 sets of commands that do the same thing, it's a very good signal that I should create a function, right? But we are not going to do it now. We are going to create our own functions later. What I want to show you now is how R behaves when we run the script that has this structure. So I run the script, the whole script from the top. That's why it's asking me for the age again. And pay attention that I still have 33 here. So if I type something different, it will change its values. Now I will come with the first name. I will come Thomas.
Oh, that's my name.
Oh, I
Did you know that?
Yeah, I do. So I want to read what an input coming from the user, and I will assign this value to variable name. When I type it and I press enter, R stores the content in a Thomas, the text Thomas, in a variable called name. If I come now and let's say Mauricio, what would happen if I am using the same variable? So pay attention to it. If you use the same variable, your value will be overridden by the latest input that you gave. And that you finish our test, Zoe. Who is Zoe?
Oh, that's my daughter. Wow. She's getting famous.
We will have the name Zoe here. Pay attention that when our studio runs the script, it's showing the command in the script, print, and the output of that command. When we type the input, it doesn't have output to the console. The output is the content here in the variable, right? So we'll talk about it later, about how to create your own functions. But this is a good sign that you should create a function and when you have repetitive commands. You mentioned me some how to tackle some errors.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be some common errors in this small script?
That's a good question. So I think that the most common error would be submitting just partial code.
Oh.
Yep. So for example, if the user would only submit this piece of code, right? Or actually, to make it more interesting, with the L. So line parentheses, type in your name. So if we run this, right, there is definitely an error because the line function needs other inputs, right? It needs numerical inputs to create a chart. Actually, it's a charting function, right? To create a chart, to create a line chart.
So
or add a line.
It's a new function. Nice.
Yeah, it's a new function. Yeah. This line by itself is a charting tool. Yeah, that's right. Now another error could be so this is I know this because I have read the error message. It says error, and I go to the console, read the red font. It says error in structure dot call, because I'm calling the function, and it's expecting a numerical object, actually a numerical variable vector, call it whatever you want, right? And also expects another numerical as dot double vector right here. So I also, by coincidence, know that line is a charting function, but it actually is something totally different and expects two numerical inputs here. So just one error, and definitely our input is not numeric; it's character. So there is an error, right? Another type of errors that we could see here, very common, is typos. So for example, instead of saying read line, we could have, real line. And then if we were to submit this piece of code, we would get a error saying error in real time could not find function real line. Well, yeah, because real line doesn't exist. This function doesn't exist. So if I just read this error from my console, right? Again, they are usually in red color unless you have changed your layout of RStudio. Then they will give you a hint on what to do. This error tells me that I should go and fix my function, that I should probably look into the spelling of my function. And I will quickly realize that I'm missing the D, read line. So, yeah, those are just the two probably most common errors that I have noticed.
Nice. And just a small tip, when you select a big piece of code and a run, and then you have errors, it's very hard to identify sometimes where the error is. So, just a suggestion, select small pieces of your code, run this part. If it works, select the next piece of code, run that part, select the next one. It's a way for you to debug your script. I'm sure that you will find your error faster and will be very rewarding by solving these issues. And I'm sure that you will not forget how this error impacted you. Trust me, I know by practice.
And it's an interesting feeling, so